One look at the town of Covenant and you'd be forgiven for thinking you had traveled back in time. Beautiful, intact houses painted with luscious blues and greens. Genuinely friendly and helpful people with no signs of violence or raiders in sight. They even have their own brand of lemonade. But lurking just below this shining facade lies an operation that could change the Commonwealth forever. After arriving at the walled gates of Covenant, you are introduced to the safe test. Used to keep out undesirables and let only good people inside, you are told everyone has to take the test and pass if they wish to enter town. Although a bit odd, you pass the test without much problem and head off to explore. Among the perhaps too friendly townsfolk is a man that sticks out, Honest Dan. Dan tells you that he was hired by Old Man Stockton, a trader from a settlement called Bunker Hill, to find his missing daughter, Amelia. Amelia was part of a caravan of traders that went missing near Covenant. The residents of Covenant begin acting bizarre when questioned about it and adamantly deny the caravan had ever stopped in town. Honest Dan thinks differently and asks you to help find out what really happened. After finding the remnants of the caravan shortly outside of town, you discover a bottle of Deezer's lemonade on one of the bodies, a beverage that can only be found at Covenant. Some clues around town, including ledgers and log sheets, reveal the location of a compound hidden outside of town. With proof that the caravan did in fact come to Covenant, you and Honest Dan set out to find the compound despite warnings from the townspeople. Hidden underwater near a local fishing spot and accessible from a hidden pipe, you arrive to find the compound heavily guarded. The presence of a team of scientists and holotape logs scattered around the facility begin to paint the full picture of what was really going on here. The safe test was actually a means of being able to detect synths. Since synths are so advanced, no current medical test can detect them. However, psychology can. Looking for some sort of psychological trigger or memory defect, Dr. Rosalind Chambers had dedicated her life to developing her safe test. Although autopsies were showing an increase in success rates, there were still too many false positives. More sophisticated monitoring equipment was needed, along with a steady stream of test subjects. Covenant's pre-war beauty was used to lure in unsuspecting wastelanders who were then shipped off to the compound for testing. This increase in test subjects allowed Dr. Chambers and her team to develop a baseline for the test, yet there was still some debate over the test itself. Dr. Blythe believed question 3 to be the key to the entire thing, while others felt question 4 was a red herring. Baseball seemed to have an effect on the results, but no one was sure why. After fighting your way through the compound and confronting Dr. Chambers, you learn her parents were among those killed at Diamond City's Broken Mask incident, which introduced third-generation synths that were indistinguishable from humans to the Commonwealth. This trauma led her to develop the safe test. After allowing her to continue her work, Honest Dan becomes hostile and forces you to kill him. Dr. Chambers then kills Amelia, who actually was a synth all along. Returning to Covenant, you find the settlement has joined your cause and Dr. Chambers is free to continue the work on her test.